Hey, we're live.
If you want to pop those into chat, I can already see a couple in there as well. Just a couple things to mention, for you guys to check on our levels, check on our audio, just give us a heads up if anything's gone awry, and with video as well. And the two things that I always mention: don't sign any transactions you don't trust, and don't give out your 24 words, just to give them a little bit of a weird reverse mix.
All right, let's do it. So yeah, guys, if you could give us a quick feedback in the chat, just let us know if the sound is good, if you can hear us and see us properly, and then as usual, if you have any questions, pop them below, and me and Felix will go through all of your questions. Felix, do you want to start?
All right. Yeah. Well, first question I've got up here with E notes mentions that they can't add HBAR and VChain to the ledger or the account. It sounds like you mentioned that you contacted support 2 days ago and you haven't gotten a response. I would want to grab the uh, case ID from you if I can. Enos, we'll try to grab those from you, and if possible, we'll just actually jump straight in and try to have a look at that in particular. Um, if you have any specific error messages you're getting or anything like that, definitely let us know as well. But those would be the things I'd think of straight away.
All right. Okay. Next, we've got Jacqueline Claire. So she's downloaded Ledger Live app, and I've got the Ledger hardware wallet. I don't seem to have the option to buy digital currency, not lit up, and I have no idea how to transfer my NFTs to my wallet. So it seems to me like you should start adding an account first. I think that's probably the main issue here. So if you look at the left side panel of the app, there is an accounts tab. You can click on that. Then you'll find a add account button. You just click that. Then you use your Ledger device to add whatever account. So since you want to transfer NFT, I'm guessing that you would need an Ethereum account, maybe a Polygon account, maybe a Binance Smart Chain account. You can add all of those. Yeah, we also have a video on the Help Center. So if you go to, actually, we have a video on this YouTube channel that shows like how to get started with a Ledger device. So yeah, you might want to check that out.
I think they did mention below that they do have some accounts, so it might be something that we would want to delve into further. I'm not if they can't, yeah, being that they don't know how to, if the buy section is not lit up, maybe it's the location as well, because the location would be the buying and selling would be very dependent on your location, I think, as well. So something to mention there, but it might be something you need to get a hold of us for. But that might be the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, for sure. Worst come to worst, like worst possible option, if Ledger Live won't let you buy coins, then you can always like buy from an exchange, like Binance or Coinbase, and then you can do a transfer from your Coinbase wallet to Ledger wallet. We also have tutorials on that. It's also on the Help Center and this YouTube channel. So yeah, support.ledger.com. That's the Help Center.
All right. I do have another question. Linwood Jones just giving us a emoji sign. So hi, Linwood Jones. Do recognize the name for sure. But we've got GTNUTZ. I'm not going to say that for it's a family show. That they can't verify HBAR on the Ledger Nano S in particular. I wouldn't be aware of any specific issues or outages with the Ledger Nano S in particular. I'd be double checking. Are you trying to add an account in particular for the first time potentially? Is it maybe would you be using Hashpack when you're doing so, that kind of thing? Those are the first things that come to mind to verify HBAR. I'm not sure if you have any ideas, Dan.
Yeah, I think so. Something specific with HBAR accounts is whenever you add one on Ledger Live, the address will not your Ledger device will not prompt you to verify the account number, and the reason why is because there is no derivation link between the private keys and the account ID. It's the Hedera network that will give you a account ID. So I think that's what might be going on. Write down your account number very carefully because you might need it later. But as far as like safety, it's perfectly okay to continue, and don't worry if you don't see the number on the device. I think that's what's happening here.
No, that does make sense. I hadn't thought about that, the error message, which, we'll probably have to take that feedback because it isn't. We do want to make it very a serious message to tell to people, but obviously you should be able to continue as well with the caveats that you mentioned. All right. Jacqueline did mention that she kind of wishes she didn't skip out on computer class back in '89, right about now. So, I mean, no better time to learn than the present, I guess. So,
Yeah, never too late.
yeah, but we'll be here. We'll try to get you through that, Jacqueline, if we need to. Now, going to the next question from Bubble P, though. They mentioned, will showing seed afterwards be possible in the future? And I would definitely say, I would use an educated guess to say no. Pretty much not possible ever. And if I would think about it from a security perspective, it'd be a very bad potential security hole. I think of, let's say, if someone has a backdoor access, if the government has a backdoor access to a certain type of encryption, it leaves other people to access that encryption, and it'd be the same here. If it'd be possible to see the seed phrase afterwards, it potentially could be some kind of increase the security, edges that you have to protect. So I don't think that'd be something we'd necessarily be doing to show the specific recovery phrase at all. Not sure if you have anything to add with that one at all.
No, not at all. I think that's a great answer. Yeah. I think if anything, it just stresses the fact that you really have to keep your seed phrase carefully, right? Because you only be seeing it like once. So you have to make sure you don't, never share it. And if you can, invest in a metal plate, right? And engrave your seed on a metal plate. That's the best way to keep it. It's much better than the cards that come in the Ledger box. Next, we've got Loki808 saying that all Ledger updates have been done successfully. Thanks again, Ledger. You're welcome. I'm guessing you're talking about the firmware updates. Guys, if you haven't updated the firmware, please do it. It improves UX and security as well. And generally, updates are good. And do the updates every single time they pop up.
Let's jump on to the next question. We've got Kamal mentioning that they want us to integrate leash and bone. And I think you mean specifically for swapping as well. I think one thing to mention, I was just double checking leash in particular, and that definitely seems like an ERC20 token. I'm just having a look for bone now. Let's say if it's bone Shiba swap, that looks like an ERC20, and you can perform those swaps in Paraswap within Ledger Live if you'd like to do that in particular. But if there are like certain types of functions that you need to call on other networks in particular that Ledger Live doesn't support, it might be something you need to delve out with third-party wallets or something like that to manage. Otherwise, if the token that's not showing as well, I'm not sure if those are on our asset list in particular. But if they're not showing, we can request that they're added. But they can take some time, and they're not always going to be added. I think the devs have a focus on safety in particular as well. So I was just writing up some documentation on an unnamed token that I won't name, but that I thought that we should remove from our asset list because it is a security risk. Not in terms of our recovery phrase or anything, but in terms of when you're interacting with the contract itself. So it is something that we can look into. So I can potentially put that on the list of things to add if it's not already added on our asset list.
All right, and next we've got a major art. Any news about using iOS device with Ledger Nano X over Bluetooth for dApps interactions? So yeah, we've got a few things down the pipe here. We've got the MetaMask interaction that will come at some point. We'll also we're working with third-party apps to develop a connect with Ledger button that you will find on different apps. So, for example, OpenSea, Blur, eventually, I mean, all those big apps will have the Ledger connect with Ledger button, and this one will be compatible with Bluetooth. Definitely, we want to make the mobile experience better than it is today. Ledger was designed with desktop in mind initially, but I think most people nowadays use the mobile to manage the crypto. So we're aware of that, and we want to make the mobile experience better.
Next one is from Sean Russell. They've mentioned ERG and Flux native storage. Just that's the whole thing. But if I assume it might be related to you wanting to use ERG and Flux directly within Ledger Live, if I make that assumption, and you're hoping to ask us for that, yeah, I can definitely take on the feedback. It sounds like you might already be aware when you use the word native, that at least definitely with ERG, the Ergo, that you should be able to use a third-party wallet to manage that in particular. Flux isn't as something I'm as familiar with in particular. I'm not sure if you are, Dan. I'm just having a look for it now.
Not sure, but go ahead. I can answer the next question while you check.
Yeah, I'll have a quick look through.
Yeah. So Lynn Casey is saying, "Hi, does Ledger only give 24 words, or 12 or 18 too?" No, a Ledger device will only give you a 24-word long recovery phrase. That's it. 12-word would be MetaMask. 18 words, I'm not sure. Actually, I've never seen a wallet that creates 18 words, but maybe back in the days. But right now, Ledger devices will only give you 24 words.
Yeah. Just having a look, Flux does seem like a token on multiple networks. So like Ethereum, BB20, Solana, even AVAX and Tron. So it might depend on which network that you actually have it on in particular. So that might be something to consider, which where that is. You might need to check the address and go from there. We might be able to give you a hand if you need, but I would just check which network it's on, and then add the account if it's for the corresponding network to be able to potentially see that if you need to. All right. Just the next couple things is Bubble P, Sean Russell, Major R, Loki 808, and GTNUTZ, mentioning the volume as well. Jacqueline mentions that I might be cutting out, but definitely keep us, let us know if that continues to be the issue. We'll try to see how we go from there. 2G Fit, they mentioned, is it possible to add XDC to the Ledger Nano S? Now, with XDC, remember that you're not adding any tokens to the actual device itself to store, but you can use third-party wallets to be able to manage those accounts if you need to. Potentially, I think the one we've been recommending a lot is my Ethereum wallet as well. You would want to log in with the corresponding address. Remember, EVM chains have a 0x prefix, but XDC would have the XDC prefix as well. And then you can go from there to actually find the address you want, in particular, if you connecting via my Ethereum wallet, for example, or something like that.
Okay, cool. Maybe we can drop a link to the Help Center article as well for 2G Fit, so they can learn how to do it. Next, we've got Auto Chanik Man. Can you tell me when ICP, so Internet Computer, I'm guessing, will be supported on Ledger without the use of a third-party wallet? It's difficult to tell. Again, I don't think there is a roadmap for native integration. We have a huge backlog of projects that want to get onto Ledger Live as well that we need to tackle. And then, eventually, I think the goal is to have everything into Ledger Live. So eventually, ICP will be part of that as well, but we can't really give you a time frame here.
All right. I was having a look through some of Jacqueline's subsequent messages, and they mentioned that they had ETH and XRP, but in particular, they're in New York. Now, with New York in particular,
Right. Bit license.
Bit license, yeah. So I think it's only Coinbase at the moment. Oh no, there are others, but Coinbase is the one that comes to mind for me specifically because I've definitely used them before. So if you needed to buy and sell crypto, it generally is going to be the process of using and interacting with Coinbase, and then needing to withdraw them out onto your ledger managed addresses to actually buy and sell with regards to fiat, especially. But with your ledger device, you should be able to do a lot of things on chain if you need to.
Cool. All right. Next, we've got Samaras. He or she bought some NFTs, and the seller asked me to send him my address. How can I find the address, public key in my Ledger Nano S? What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna post a link to an article on the Help Center, so you can just follow the steps, and you'll be able to store your NFTs on your Ledger Ethereum account.
Right. And so next question, we've got Simon Green. They mentioned, would there be more staking available for Ledger Live? It's inconvenient that I need multiple wallets to stake the likes of ADA and Atom. So there definitely will be more staking coins available, or like we're always trying to work on new integrations. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. Now, yeah, I totally get it. It's a bit inconvenient as well, but I think it's always important that you can always use these third-party wallets because Ledger Live and all these other wallets are basically just interfaces for that. But I think with Atom, you should be able to do it within Ledger Live. I've got that. Yes, I do have that link here. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we should, at least with Atom, you definitely should be able to do that within Ledger Live. With Cardano, like I said, we're always trying to work on things, new integrations, and that's definitely, obviously, one of the bigger coins out there. So it's definitely on the list.
Yeah. Yeah, Atom definitely supported. I think we do have a video on this YouTube channel like that explains how to stake Atom. So Maris, so follow up to the previous question. They have a Polygon and Ethereum account. Yeah. So Samaras, you can just like look up the article that I shared in the chat, and this works for both Polygon and Ethereum accounts.
Okay, I'm just sending you, Simon, the Atom staking article. But next one looks like Major Art retracted their message. There's Jacqueline mentioning their location. No, EM. So, hi. When stuff arrives from France, I'm in Spain. How do you know if it's not been tampered with the plastic cover? Seems very easy to replicate. It's so thin, etc. So I think this was something. I think when I received it, it was some kind of packaging. But the way that we get around this is because we actually verify not only the software integrity, so make sure that someone hasn't gone into the code and changed the code, but we actually verify the hardware integrity as well um, when you interact with Ledger Live. So this is especially something that you'll see explicitly when you use Ledger Live for the first time. You go, hey, it needs to go through a genuine check. So that's the thing that I would say is the specific thing that we use, as opposed to just using the plastic covers. Because definitely the plastic covers is just going to let you know that it's just to protect the box itself, but it's not necessarily going to protect you in all the cases. So this is why we have this extra methodology. So when you go through Ledger Live, yep, you go through the genuine check. It checks that the hardware and the software is working correctly, and then you'll be good to go from there. So you're all good.
Perfect. And then Lynn Casey, second question: is Banksa supported in Ledger Live to buy in the Ledger Live app? I was checking in the Discover section. I do think Banksa is in there, but I am not sure, to be honest.
Not off the top of my head, no.
No, it's not. Yeah, no, you're right. No, it's not in there. Well, depending on what currency, so you can just use the buy button in Ledger Live. It will produce a list of different providers, and you'll be able to compare different rates and just go for the cheapest. The Discover section also has Binance Connect, which is a good way to buy some cryptocurrency directly into your account. It's also, I would say, just compare different rates and go for the best rate, because different provider will give you better rates depending on the coin. So yeah, just use the competition to your advantage. Yeah.
So next question that we've got comes with regards to NFTs. Janos, I think hopefully I didn't butcher that. Janos Horvath, hello, I'm interested in the Samsung NFT. How will you draw a code? So that would be something that you would get with regards to the when you purchase the device, if I remember correctly, MX1. I'm just trying to double check the. I know that there's a minting site if you're able to do so. So, but definitely, please be careful. It's something for Samsung Europe in particular, and you can see. I think you can see it on Rarible and other secondary sites. But please be really careful. I'm actually going to post the article. When does the mint start? Yep. So it's the MX1 Genesis edition for that NFT, and the mint window is for the 15th of Feb, past 2020 at 7 till then. Sorry, mint windows. Sorry, guys, will open on the 15th, and then it will depends on the allow list wave you're assigned to, and will be announced individually with each participant. So it's first come first serve. And there are 4 mint waves in particular. Free mint, but you do have to make sure that you're able to mint to do so. So with that device in particular.
Okay.
I'll pop the link there for you, Janos, as well.
Perfect. And then we've got Janice asking, do you guys have a plan to add a PYR token? So I was checking real quick on CoinMarketCap. There are 2 PYR tokens. One is on Binance Smart Chain, the other one is on Ethereum. So depending on which one it is, you can just send them to your Ethereum account or Binance Smart Chain account. Since it's a token and not its own network, and for now you have to use the existing network. So that would be Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain. You can just send that to your account.
All right. Siegfried asks a question here: how many people are working on each week on approving the Arweave apps? I actually wouldn't know how many people. I don't think it's something that I necessarily know, but yes, it can be some time for them to go through that and check everything in particular. So I think probably what you're hoping to get from me would be a specific time frame as well, which I wouldn't be able to give you. But yeah, sit tight there. Sorry, be patient. We'll try to hassle them a little bit more if you want.
All right. Next, we've got Tmail Flash. Why doesn't my Ledger Live app track the changing value of my tokens without a very long delay? It could be a sync issue. It could be that the tokens are not supported at the moment you send them to your accounts, or like they partially supported, meaning that you can see the balance, but not the value of that balance, and then it gets added to Ledger Live later. So there is a bunch of things that can happen here. Just keeping in mind that Ledger Live doesn't store the coins. Ledger Live is just a bunch of APIs that communicate with, third-party services that will, return the price of an asset, or Ledger Live will read the blockchain and all the different accounts. And so it will fetch information all over the place, just display it for you so it makes sense. So again, if you see changing values of your tokens, don't worry too much about it. Eventually, the real value comes back to normal. Clearing the cache as well in the settings might help as well if you're getting like a lot of changing value issues.
All right, so there's a couple of really. I was actually taking a sneak peek for spoilers, and there are a couple really fun questions coming up. So I'm pretty excited.
Sounds good.
Now, next one was going to be AV Production mentioning what happens if the ledger breaks. Is there a way to restore the crypto? And that would be your recovery phrase. So as long as you have that, just to mention, if you have a passphrase as well, which is a separate thing, just to mention, just to be thorough. But normally you'd just be restoring your recovery phrase on the ledger device, and then you'd be able to access the same accounts once you install applications. Now, it's the relationship between the recovery phrase and the private keys. So they derive the private keys from the recovery phrase, and then you can get access to the specific addresses that you might need to. So hopefully that helps. Yeah.
Very good. Next, we've got JT asking about the Hedera account. When you don't get to confirm the account ID on your device, saying that it shows an error that says send at your own risk. That's actually normal. That's how the developers chose to phrase this error message in Ledger Live. For me, it's unnecessarily scary. Honestly, like, you're safe. Just make sure that you send to the correct account. This account is safe to use. I think they went a little bit too extreme in the phrasing. Then that's not their job necessarily. And we've asked, we'll ask for that to be changed a little bit so it doesn't sound as scary. But again, you're good. That's perfectly normal. Just send your HBAR to that account and it's safe.
Right. So next one, we've got Sasho mentioning no one has a solution for my problem that you mentioned. You can't send mobile tokens from your Ledger account to your other Helium wallet. Everything goes okay until the end and you get invalid bad signature. That might be something to get a hold of us for in particular. I mean, bad signature for me could have a bunch of implications, meaning, it's just maybe the application isn't set up correctly. Maybe it could be that the private keys don't match what they should be. Could be a bunch of things here. It might be that I don't know that tokens we have like token support for Helium in particular within Ledger Live. So it's that kind of thing that we'd be wanting to try to help you with it as best we can. You can always mention my name as well if you need to, Sasha. We can pick up that ticket and try to give you a hand from there if we need.
I wonder how much of that is due to the fact that Helium is moving to Solana. I don't know if you saw that piece of news, but they used to be on Ethereum, I think, if I'm not wrong, and then they've slowly migrated the smart contract onto Solana. So maybe there is something there. Maybe the app that we're using is no longer able to communicate on the Solana network, right? Because it's not developed for that. Interesting. That could explain I don't know. Just going on a limb here, but that could be it.
No comment on Solana.
All right. That being said, Sophie is saying that they've sent the XDC to the XDCE account, which is the Ethereum account. No clue what to do. Sophie, just get in touch with us, like support.ledger.com. The coins are not lost, but there's a bunch of steps that you will need to do before you're able to access this account and just send the coins back to your XDC account. Just so you know, your coins are on your Ethereum account right now. So yeah, again, support.ledger.com. Send us an email. You can mention my name as well, and I'll get the ticket and I'll help you out.
Right, Jacqueline comes back with this great question. When the world goes digital, do we walk around with our hardware wallet and computer connection, or does it work for daily transactions? And this is, I think, this is such a good question. Yeah. I think that maybe. I think we're exceptions, but I feel like you and I both walk around with our hardware wallets at least potentially one. I don't know if you do, but I think I do at least with one of them. But would we use it directly to computer? I don't know. I think that'd be cool though.
Because, that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be, your source of, let's say, randomness and entropy, and it's what you use for encryption. So you have this for your, in terms of cryptocurrency, you have this for, sending and receiving messages, making sure you're the person that can control this. I think that's kind of what I would love to see personally.
Really. That'd be great. Yeah. Yeah. Or like Ledger chips inside computers, like Intel style or something like that. Cool. That'd be cool as well. Cool. So next we've got ATEC. Hi, Cardano and Cosmos apps are constantly asking for updates, even though they are up to date. Restart after update. Yeah, well, so this is a known bug. You can just ignore the updates. We'll have a fix later, so just stay on the lookout for updates to Ledger Live. Although it's possible that the fix will be released on the air, so you don't have to do anything. It will just the pop-ups will stop happening. For now, just ignore it.
Right. Siegfried, would I need to back up and save something else other than the 24 words? I mean, please don't back it up onto any cloud service. That's the first thing I'd mention, Siegfried. But the thing that you'd want to save, yes, 24 words, maybe your passphrase as well. If that's potentially complex enough that you need to, excuse me, that you need to do so. But those are probably the things that I'd um, potentially think of that you need to make sure that you record safely. Now, please, not on when you use the word backup and save, I get really scared. So hopefully that's not the case. But um, if that is just on paper, then you should be all set with that and potentially your passphrase if you're using that too.
All right. Cool. Sean, sorry, did you answer Sean or I've lost
Siegfried.
Siegfried. Okay, so sorry about that. I've lost track. I was sharing a link here. Okay, so Sean, yes. When can we use Flux and Ergo natively? Well, again, Sean, it's very difficult for us to. We usually do not share time frames just because like things can be pushed back. So yeah, just follow us on social media. That's the best way to stay up to date. You can follow our Twitter accounts at ledger_support. Be careful on Twitter, lots of fake accounts. Ours has a golden check mark, and again, it's ledger_support. I'll drop the link in the description, and you can just follow us there.
Right. I just did want to mention though, Siegfried did have mentioned the Solana phone as well. So that they mentions that has integrated secure hardware. Well, I guess we're biased on our side, but let's keep going. I don't want to talk bad about anyone else. Deliver hard card flipper.
Hot takes.
Yeah. It's a personal text anyway. Deliver hard card flipper. They mentions, are you watching the market? I'm definitely watching the market. I'm always watching the market. I came from more of a TradFi background, so yes, definitely an interesting time in the market. So yes. But
cool. Yeah, we have to. I mean, like, our sales depend on the market as well. I mean, so many, like, everything is tied together with price in crypto, basically, like developer activity, new developers coming into the space, sales of ledger devices, transactions, like everything is tied to price for now. In the future, that might not necessarily be the case, but there is still a lot of speculation in the space, and this is where we are right now, but who knows?
I think it's also important because, you get the feel for the entire market, and you would know it outside of just the crypto market. So you've got like the TradFi space, macro economics, politics. It's all interrelated, so it's all really important to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think it's true, and also like there is nothing wrong about price, right? I mean, price is just a market signal for human psychology and how much they value something. So if you believe in the effective market, like efficient markets, then price is definitely a good indicator of where we are.
All right. I guess Sean Russell mentioning also that we should be looking into Flux more. So
We'll do.
not up to speed with that one. Yeah, for
Will
sure.
do, Sean.
Yeah. All right.
Similar question from Frank. Telos, when Telos native support, again, same thing. Like we can't really. I know. Sorry about that, guys. We always like Debbie Downers here. Like, oh, we can't talk about it, but the answer is always the same. It's like we don't really know, and even the developers don't really know because, things get reshuffled and roadmap can change, and sometimes there is no roadmap, so we need a roadmap first. In general, if you are in contact with whatever project and team, it's always a good idea to share our developer page. So you go on Google, you type Ledger Developer, that's the developer portal. Share that with their team. They can also join the Discord, so that this Ledger open, but the E is number 3. So you can share those resources. So whenever the core team of whatever project wants to develop on Ledger, they know where to find the good resources and contact our teams as well.
All right. So Lulu Jones mentions good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon from here. But will there ever come a time when we would not need a third-party wallet, meaning you can deposit your coin directly into your ledger? It might depend on the coin. that you're thinking of? Because I see that you've mentioned MetaMask in particular. I would say it. So, being that you're asking about third-party wallets, it might be a coin that's supported with an application, but not supported in Ledger Live. And again, we have to go with the same line, unfortunately. But in terms
Awesome. And then we've got a bunch of shout outs in the chat, 2G Fit and Lulu Jones and Jacqueline as well. So thank you guys. Yeah, it's always a pleasure. It's I gotta say it's always a pleasure to see that you guys show up for those AMAs. We absolutely love doing them, and it's just a better way to provide support to you guys. So please definitely share the word, right? If some of your friends need advice, they've got any questions, but they don't want to send an email, they just want to get in touch directly, share those AMAs with people so they can find them. Okay, next we've got, so Siegfried was helping Samaras. And Frank is back for a different question. Is there or will there be a method to sync various desktop Ledger Live instances? For example, renamed accounts in one Ledger Live to one computer. So okay, I get the idea. For now, no, because the reason why is because Ledger Live is a local app, so it just lives on your machine, but it's not connected directly to the other instances. If one day, for example, Ledger Live moves to the browser, then there will be more. We can think of more of those sync methods here. But for now, it's not possible.
names only. Not any way that would be native in Ledger Live. So that's what we would normally be doing. What I might suggest though is if you're using the same laptop, you could potentially use different users. Now, the reason I mention that is because the users are because it's like Dan mentioned, it's a local app. The data that's stored is local to not only the computer, but the user specifically. So if you go in and you have different users, then the portfolios will be that you set up will be on different instances of Ledger Live, or Ledger Live rather will have different data to show each of you. So that's probably the best, the quickest solution I would suggest without tinkering with anything weird. So yeah.
All right. So who's next? Sorry, I think I missed. Apparently, your mic dropped at some point, Felix. It might have been because of me, but it's back now. You're
all good. I think I'll mention to. We're up to Marek, I think here. They mentioned, hello, I received an NFT airdrop on Polygon, and it was later sent to a burn address without me signing the transaction. Is it possible that it was done by smart contract? I don't care about the NFT, but the fact that the outgoing transaction happened without me signing worries me a bit. Someone stole my private keys. So, and I found a Ledger article about address poisoning. Is it possible that's what's happening? That's definitely, so with the airdrop, it's just airdrops, how do I put this? Because yes, someone can airdrop you an NFT and they can just take it straight away again because they might have, the overarching access to that smart contract, right? So they can say, hey, you have this NFT because remember, NFTs aren't something that, live in your private keys, for example, or at your address. What it is it's actually just a ledger. The smart contract is a ledger. And it says, hey, this address has one balance of NFT with an ID 233, whatever, right? And so this person can be like, hey, I airdropped this to you from the burn address. That's normally the minting. And then they'll be like, hey, I'm going to just send it to another address by calling the smart contract function that I made that does it in a specific way that allows me to do it in particular. So as long as you didn't sign any transactions, as long as your recovery phrase is not on any digital device whatsoever, except for the Ledger Nano itself, so not Ledger Live, not your computer, not your phone, not in a photo, etc., then that is definitely the address poisoning could be part of what's happening, because I think address poisoning has been used to mention zero value transactions and things like that. But in this case, it's just that someone has found an address, because remember, your addresses are public and they're pseudonymous, and they can say, hey, I think I can try and get you to interact with this asset. So they see that you've not interacted with it. Maybe they just want to remove it for you. And they just want you to get you to mess up in some way. So as long as those things are okay, you should be okay, I reckon.
All right. And then we had a question from Oscar about the stacks. Are they already sending the stacks? Not yet. Do you think the first pre-order devices will be sent around April? We'll have some communication about that near to the time. So just follow us on Twitter. That's the best way you can get up to speed with what's going on. Yeah.
All right. Siegfried did ask, was interacting with Sasho about the Helium in particular, being that it's on its own L1, which I wasn't 100% sure about. I had used the CLI wallet before to log in with my Ledger device, but not something that I've actually directly sent and received necessarily. So I do know about the coin, but not the tokens in particular. So yeah, it's something you can get a hold of us about. You can always, like Siegfried mentioned, get a hold of the guys on the Helium Discord as well. I think it's not as well known that the applications, like Ledger Live, is supposed to be an open ecosystem, and we want all of the guys to come in and build with us in particular. So it's not like we're going out and directly building all the apps. So definitely, if you're having trouble with the Ledger app, that might be experimental, for example, and you need to use a third-party wallet, some of it we might be able to help with, but a lot of the times we might be also good to reach out to the devs of the particular ecosystem as well, Helium in this case. So get a hold of us. You can also get a hold of the guys at Helium. We'll try to give you a hand with that, Sasho.
Perfect. We've got a shout out from Fee. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Fee. Waiting for your email, mate. Okay, next we've got Carlos. Apparently, so technical support very weak. I'm waiting for hours for urgent response case number. Carlos, sorry about the wait, mate. I do have your case ID number. I'll get back to you either after the live or first thing tomorrow morning. So just hang tight and you'll get an email from me very soon.
All right, Sasha. Also going through some extra details. Simon mentions to Jacqueline about whether let's wait until digital body mods become mainstream, assuming you paid. If we had all played Cyberpunk 2077, I'm kind of scared about that future, but also kind of excited. So I'm two ways about it myself.
Interesting.
Sean, shout out to Fee saying that they sure will. And Sean Russell mentions, are there any timelines that we can share? I mean, not in terms of apps, but Ledger Stacks, if you want to buy that, that's going to be out very soon. We're going to start sending those out pretty much very, very soon. I'm excited to get my hands on that as well.
Yep. And then Siegfried said we missed part one of his two-part question. So the second part, would I need to backup save something else than my 24 words? The answer is no. That's the basic setup, right? You get your 24 words from the device and then you back them up. If you want to get a little fancier, you can add a passphrase, which is basically like adding a 25th word, although it's not technically correct, but you can think of it this way. So you can add a passphrase and create secret accounts. We have tutorials on how to do this. But again, the basic setup is you get 24 words, and those 24 words represent all your private keys. And then you have to protect those 24 words. Again, scammers will try to get the words because if they get a hold of your phrase, they'll be able to clone your private keys into their own device and steal your funds. So under no circumstances you should share those words, right? Scammers will try to pretend to be from Ledger employees, fake accounts, and try to get you to reveal your words. So again, never share them, never type them anywhere. Don't create a digital copy of them. Just back them up on a piece of paper, the card that comes in the box, or a metal plate. I think that's my preferred option. So it's protected against a range of natural disasters and acid and rain and stuff like that.
There must have been the answer that you muted me for, so no hard feelings. Next one was Jonathan, though. They mentioned that they hope VeChain will be supported in Ledger Live, so we'll make sure to pass that on as well. And Alexander Lagrange mentioned that they met an issue with the Ledger Stacks NFT where the token that you bought had been burnt at the same time that your WETH offer was accepted. Definitely get a hold of us for that one in particular, and we'll try to give you a hand with that. We'll just need to grab like your Ethereum address, so it'll just be something to keep in mind. So obviously we wouldn't want you to necessarily put that all out there. So get a hold of us. We'll try to give you a hand. And Sasho, I do see that ticket number as well. So head up, we'll take that in and get back to you.
Dirty next says that his crew wallets won't update transactions. His message support, send logs in emails. Dirty, if you could share your ticket number so we can take a look. It doesn't hurt to update everything just in case that issue is linked to some sync issue with Ledger Live not being up to date. There is an article on the Help Center, so if you go to support.ledger.com and type complete update, you'll find all the steps to update your Ledger setup. So try that, but also drop your ticket ID number in the chat so we can get back to you.
I did want to double check if there is a issue with that in particular, like if you're not seeing any transactions there at all, where you can see transactions in a block explorer, for example. If that's the case, if that's the case, I understand that there are some users experiencing issues like that. So definitely, you can still get a hold of us. We'll be able to let you know when that's potentially resolved as well. But not that your funds aren't safe or anything. It's just that the transactions might not be showing if that's what you're experiencing. So wanted to jump in there as well.
Perfect. Just before you continue, Felix, I just want Siegfried says that we still missed the question. I don't think we can see the question actually. I don't know, Siegfried, if there is a transaction ID in your question, maybe that's getting automatically removed from the chat. I'm not really sure, but I'm not seeing any other question. Like the last one I can see from you is, would I need to back up, save something else than my 24 word? So that's the last thing I see from you. So if you could retype it or just get a hold of us, support.ledger.com, because I can't see anything on my side. Sorry, Felix, go for it.
All good. We've got the uproar for me being muted, and then...
Sorry, guys, it was my fault. I clicked the wrong button. I'm still learning this craft.
We've got Dirty, my CRO wallet won't update transaction history, clear the cache, updated device and apps, message support, email screenshots, and logs. Oh, that was you, I think. But yeah, it does sound like it might be, if it's just not showing, but you do see it in block explorers in particular, your assets are still safe. It's just that they might not be showing. And if you want, you can get a hold of us and we'll try to look into that for you. Crypto Fine. Marlon Jaeger mentions go for Felix, so that's probably just the audio. Crypto Finders mentioned it's asking me to update firmware 2.1.0, I'm assuming, and that I need to make sure that I have my seed phrase written down, which is normal. Now, the reason that they normally do that is because we want to make sure that if the device, let's say something happens to the device and the device has to reset, we want to make sure that you're able to restore the device and still manage your assets accordingly. We would never ask you to put it into Ledger Live. Now, it's why it says that you have it with you and not to input it anywhere. It's because we want you to input that into your device if necessary. So it's just in case. When I updated mine, I don't think it needed to. I haven't updated the X yet. because I normally like to keep some, just in case some people are having issues with older firmwares. There is no downgrading, but if you do need it, it's just to restore the Ledger device itself.
All right, awesome answer. So I'm just gonna pick up Siegfried's question, so I can see it now. Yeah, so the question is actually interesting. So say I have several Ethereum accounts addresses on Ledger Live with my Nano X. If I need to restore my Ledger device with the 24 words, how can I be sure the same accounts will be recreated? How to do it? Yeah, so basically you would take your recovery phrase, seed that into your device, and then you would have access to the same accounts. It's just mathematical, is because your 24-word recovery phrase is basically the private keys to your accounts. So your account addresses are derived from the private keys. So there is a mathematical link between the two of them. So that's how it works basically. So again, all you need is your 24-word recovery phrase, and you need to make sure that the device you using to access a particular account has the recovery phrase that contains the private key for that account. I'll drop a link for you that will teach you how to restore accounts with your recovery phrase and your Ledger device. Just keep in mind that the recovery phrase is for you only. Never type it anywhere except in the Ledger device, right? Not Ledger Live, not a website, nowhere. No one will, scammers will ask you for it to steal your funds, but Ledger will never ask you for it.
Right. Next couple questions we've got. Tom Khan, a good way that we use is the mobile app. We sync our separate accounts on the mobile app and check our real assets each. I don't know if you had an extra question there, Tom Khan. I don't remember. Tom Khan, hi. Oh, yep, you and your girlfriend in particular. Yes. Okay, a good way that we use is the mobile app. Yeah, the mobile app would be great because they have the data that's separate. You sync, like you said, you sync the separate accounts and then you can all check it differently. But if you wanted to have them separate, so you don't want to see your girlfriend's assets, you can do what I mentioned with the user. Hopefully that helped. That's okay. But yeah, otherwise, I'm not sure if there are any other options. Maybe some weird workarounds with like MetaMask if it's only Ethereum assets or that kind of thing that I'm thinking of.
Perfect. I think we should do a rapid fire round because we only have 5 minutes left.
True.
So I'm gonna start with Zaviri, Bavik Zaviri. Can Ledger people see my crypto holdings? No, we don't have access to that.
All right. Mediaticam. If I send BTC to one of my older addresses, what happens? You'll receive it as per normal. You can always use your old addresses. Easy stuff.
Michael Lang, I have installed newly Ledger Live on a second computer from my Nano X. However, I see only the installed coins, but not the accounts. How can I see all my accounts? Of course, Nano X is connected. You just have to re-add your accounts normally. So you open Ledger Live, click the account tab, add account button, and you just re-add your accounts one after the other.
All right. Jamarcus South mentions, why is the balance different on your laptop than on your phone? Could be a potential sync issue. So it might be something that you can see on the top right with the synchronization, or I think much rarer, there might be a difference between what's supported on the phone and the laptop, but I think that's a little bit rarer, but I always like to mention it. But get a hold of us if the synchronization issue continues. Normally it's just to update everything and make sure everything is up to date.
Okay. Kenneth, what is the biggest difference between the Stacks wallets and normal Nano wallets? I'm guessing will also be connected to Ledger Live. Yes, the Stacks uses Ledger Live as well, just like a Nano. Biggest difference, bigger screen, better UX, NFC capabilities as well, although we're not supposed to talk about it, but I think it's why not? Yeah, it's a feature, so why not? And you can customize the screen as well. I mean, it's really cool. It's a really cool device. I've got one here, just here. You see I've personalized the screen here. So yeah.
All right, Carlos, thanks you. So he'll be waiting for you. Christian, I don't see a message from you in particular, or if you're responding to someone else, hopefully see how we go from there. We've got Bavik Zaveri. Also, I was talking to Ledger Support regarding an issue, and he knew my holdings, and I haven't shared my seed phrase. I would suspect either if you share the logs, they would know your holdings because the address are included in the logs, but it doesn't allow you to manage the assets, right? It allows us to see what addresses you added as accounts in Ledger Live. So if that's the case, that might be why.
Cool.
And yeah,
We've got Himmel. When will the companion NFT for Stacks going to be revealed? I don't know exactly, but just for context, once you get a Stacks, you will get one of those, the Infinity Pass, and you'll be able to redeem the pass with the QR code at the back of the card. Not sure what it's going to be though. Surprise.
there's a couple of mentions about Siegfried's issue in particular, about seeing that. We got Dirty's case number as well, so I've got that
Perfect.
too. Now, Alexander, I did want to get to you though. You mentioned you didn't want to know what to fully do. Just get a hold of us. It'll have to be something we might need to take a look at in particular. So might not be much you can do at this stage, but basically we do want your address in particular, and we'll have a look at that and see what's happened on our end and on chain as well.
Cool. And then we've got Kellen. Morning. I've been in contact with you guys a few weeks ago. Kellen, okay, so I lost all my crypto on Ledger Live. I do not know how it was sent out. So my question is, how can I add new crypto onto this device to have extra layer of security? Okay, so here I'm saying, if somehow you share your 24-word recovery phrase with a scammer, maybe someone convinced you to type it somehow to share it with them, then your accounts are not safe. So you should definitely not send additional funds to those accounts. You will need to reset your Ledger device, create new private keys, and create new accounts with those private keys. I'm going to drop a link to an article that will teach you how to do this. Yeah, you can also get in touch with us, support.ledger.com, send us an email and explain the issue. But right now, please do not send coins to those accounts until we go back to you and have a look at what happened here.
Right, we've got also kind of still had a problem with just got your Ledger Nano X working, but when I sync the accounts, not all of the accounts are imported. What can I do? It was my MetaMask account. Now, with MetaMask, I just had a chat with someone earlier today that if you have a MetaMask account that is on another derivation path, for example, it may not show. That would be the thing that I'd think about in particular. I did want to go through some other details as well, because Glenn Torrey just wanted to get to you first. I don't see any of those messages as well. So I think we mentioned previously, it might be to do with either some specific characters or what you might include there. Now, with Alexander, you're in Discord. We can try and get a hold of you there if you want to. So we'll go from there.
All right, cool. Well, I think it's probably time to wrap it up. Sorry, guys, I've got a hard stop at 5 p.m., so I'll have to go. But always a pleasure to see you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Felix, you have a onboarding session tomorrow as well. So what time is it?
It's at, oh my goodness, I've actually forgotten. 4 or 5, it is 5 p.m.
5 p.m., cool.
Central European time. So yeah, join up. We'll just be doing some onboarding, but I'll be doing it from a different perspective this time if you're more advanced. So
cool.
Join in.
Yeah, and I'll be in the chat to help you guys if you have questions while Felix is doing the onboarding. And then once Felix is done, he will pick up the remaining questions as well. In any case, it's always a pleasure to have you guys. Just subscribe if you haven't done so you can have fast support via YouTube. That's pretty much the best way to reach out to us. It's much faster than email. Kellen, get in touch. Okay, support.ledger.com. Send us an email, and then you can drop the case number ID into the comments under the video, and we'll get back to you and take care of you. For all of you guys, thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow again. Don't share your 24-word recovery phrase. Okay, just don't let the scammers steal your coins. That's very, very important.
Cool.
All right.
Don't sign any transactions you don't trust. Always. All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.